Good morning, afternoon, or evening to you, depending on where you're watching this from in the world. It's here. It's finally here. F1 2016 has been released, and it's in my PlayStation 4. I'm jumping straight into Season 1 of Career Mode. Now, which team am I going for? I could go for a front runner, or I could go for a team like Force India, but I'm actually going to go with the Renault, and my teammate will be Julian Palmer, an all-British lineup in the Renault team. So let's crack on with Season 1 of Career Mode.
Hi, I'm Emma Jenkins. I'm a specialist in contract law and I've been brought in to work as your agent. I'll be working to get you the best deal in the boardroom, which means you need to do the best possible job out there on the circuit. When you get new contract offers, either from new teams or an amendment to your existing offer, it'll come through me. I'll also keep you up to date on discussions behind the scenes to change your terms, or any specific goals that the team has set for you. If a contract offer does come through, I'll present to you the available offers and then you can make the call. I assume that all sounds fine. Well then, good luck this season, and I'll catch you later.
You don't want to upset her, do you, really? Let's be honest. I think she'd be pretty feisty if you did. There's the contract, just don't screw up. That's pretty much the essential message it's giving me there. Yep, so this is the motorhome for the Renault team. Here's a laptop with all our information here, but I don't really want to bother reading all this. Let's just crack on with practice one.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. A lot of focus is naturally on the drivers, but it's really important for the mechanics to get everything right as well, as one little mistake could cost the team and one of their drivers the race result.
These guys are so meticulous and they train and perfect everything that they do. Without question, they feel the pressure in the same way as the drivers, and they share the responsibility to ensure that the car makes it to the end of the race.
Okay, so that's the introduction there from David Croft and Anthony Davidson, just setting the scene for us here as we start practice here in Australia. This is us coming out onto the track for the very first time in this Renault around Albert Park for this career mode. And my first impressions of the car on this track is that it has no downforce at all. It is seriously slippery. The track is pretty green. That could well be a factor in this. I was really struggling, and through turn 5, a corner which normally is pretty easy, just getting on that extra bit of curbing on the exit, just flung the car into the wall, and it did a little bit of damage. But aside from just a little bit of understeer here and there, as you can see there, it didn't affect the handling a great deal, which I'm not sure it speaks for what that says about the actual car handling itself. We're on a flying lap here a little bit later on, and Palmer comes out of the pits and just decides to block us like a treat. Block us a treat here, and yeah, that was thanks for that, mate. It was going to get past you into 5, and obviously again just slide-tacular through turn 5. It's an absolute edge of your seat stuff there in this car at this time. We're going to start the track acclimatization test. Now, this is the one with the barriers where you just got to go through and get as many purple barriers as you can. Here we go. I'm not going to show you the whole lap because we'll be here all day. We'll cut a little bit on a little bit later. Just a massive slide here. Just about managed to hold it a little bit of contact with the wall, but we continue into turn 5, thinking I've got away with that, but nope. Turn 5 has caught me out completely here, and thanks to the rewind, we will go back and try again into turn 5 here. Can we not crash this time? Yeah, we're okay. We're practically going stationary through that corner to avoid a collision. Now, as you can see, our first lap with this track acclimatization, aside from the 2 barriers, one of which was the DRS zone we're in now, it was almost a perfect lap, and we finished the track acclimatization test with a perfect score. Now we're going to move on to the tyre management test. This is a 7-lap run on a set of soft tyres. This is it's quite interesting, and it really does kind of open your eyes as to how aggressive you can be at times into certain corners. You've got to keep the circle in the purple, and I was really struggling at times. We'll cut to the end of the test because 7 laps is a long time to show you. We managed to do it. Our target was 65. It then got bulked up to 80 when we had a lap to spare to do it, and yeah, we did that too. End of our qualifying simulation run. here, and we amazingly pop up in P5 on a pair of super softs. Not a bad way to kick off for this Australian Grand Prix weekend.
Hi. Good to meet you at last. My name's Chris, and I'll be working with you as your Chief of Vehicle Development. It'll be my job to get your feedback as a driver and to direct our upgrade design in the areas that you feel are most lacking. At each Grand Prix, we can run a series of practice programs and log the performance of the car as you drive it at its limit. This gives us data that we can utilize to develop various performance improvements. In order for me to know which upgrades to prioritize, I'll need you to select a development area that you'd like us to focus on. And you can do that in the R&D section of your laptop. Anyway, that's all for now, but I'll keep you up to date, okay? I'll see you soon.
So that is our race engineer. We will use our first token just to increase the downforce a little bit on the car. That's our first upgrade.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay?
Alright, we've got our first rival, and for everybody it will be their teammate. So my teammate for this part is Julian Palmer.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
So our qualifying goal is 17th or higher. I have a feeling we can do this.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
Alright, it is qualifying time here for the Australian Grand Prix, the first round of our career mode here. I'm going to cut to the beginning of our flying lap. Well, I decided to try and do one lap in qualifying to save the tyres as we come into turn one, a little bit further into the lap here. The car sliding around a lot, but the super softs are working well, and we're going to come to the end of the lap. Now, where will this lap take us? I remember I'm doing just one run into the final corner, managed to hook up quite nicely. DRS activated, we head for the line. Now, where does this put us initially? Well, it actually pops us up in P4 initially, but then the times start to tick down, we start to tumble down a bit, but we qualify in 11th place. Can you believe it?
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
So our goal is to finish 15th or higher and beat our teammates. I think we can do this. I have to say. I have a feeling we can do this. Let's go to our first Grand Prix.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, former world champion, and dare I say it, all-round top bloke as well. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, and it's gone and rained on us. I imagine that that's not especially helpful for the teams, who are still trying to figure out, of course, what kind of performance they're all capable of.
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here. I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, in regards to the weather, you're absolutely right. You know, we've just come here off the back of testing. It's the first opportunity to really gauge where the reliability is, where the performance is, how you stack up against your competitors in the Grand Prix, and now it all has to be kind of put on hold for a bit. So now the question becomes, who can be adaptable? who has the wet weather pace and who can make best use of these difficult circumstances to come out on top in these conditions.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
Well, can you believe it? Our first race of career mode is going to be in a wet, soaking wet Australia. I haven't run the wet weather at all on this game up to this point, so this is the very first time I'm experiencing F1 2016's wet weather conditions, and this is also my very first safety car. We're coming around. I think we've done a pretty decent job with getting the tyres and the brakes up to a decent temperature. We're qualified in 11th place. We have the double world champion Fernando Alonso in the McLaren ahead of us. Where do you think we can finish? I'm confident heading into this race that we can get a good result here. Sliding around, trying to warm up these tyres, warming up these brakes. Into the final corner now on this formation lap. And the game has already, I think, taken control. Yes, it has. It's taken control. And we're going to line up on our grid slot. Now, I have to say, the introduction of the safety car, I was a little bit skeptical about the safety car before this point. Safety car. A little bit skeptical about the formation lap up to this point as to how effective it'll be in terms of building up the tension. We get a nice trophy there, thank you very much. We're lining up, but it actually really does. I was getting my heart was beating before the start of this race on the formation lap. It really does build up the tension. But now we've got to get our brains in gear. Think about those 5 red lights. And what lies ahead in this championship. The 5 red lights are coming on, and the Australian Grand Prix is underway here. We get a decent start. We get enough revs, I think, to get off the line. Okay, the track is absolutely soaking. We get a massive fishtail on our way down to turn 1, but we do throw it at the inside of a lot of cars, and we're up into P7 here. Felipe Massa's on our right hand side. It's getting pretty feisty here. We get a massive fishtail coming out of turn 2 on our way to turn 3. We're currently in 7th. We have a look at Massa. We've broken way too late up the inside. Massa's on our right. Verstappen's on our left. And we've gone round. Can you believe it? What drama. We have to wait for everyone else to go past. We are stone dead last. And Alonso's crashed off. We can't even rejoin. Alonso's struggling to get back on the track. We are currently last, miles behind the field. Can you believe the start of this race? It's a little bit further on in this opening lap. The track is absolutely soaking. We go off at that corner there. What drama to start this Australian Grand Prix. We've gone from 11th up to 7th and down to last place. This is the second lap. The track is absolutely soaking. It's an absolute miracle that we're keeping the car on the track. The yellow flags are out in front of us. And here's why. We've got a slow-moving car on the apex here. We have to basically just go past everybody. It's a slow-moving McLaren of Fernando Alonso. We apparently only illegally overtake Jenson Button. Just Button. Which is absolutely fine, and we are now chasing down Jenson Button. Alonso pulls out of the way, so Alonso's got some serious problems going on, and we're heading into this corner here. We've got a slow-moving Mercedes, and Button and Rosberg have touched. Can you believe it? Button and Rosberg have made contact into the chicane, causing massive problems for both men. We've moved up into P12. Bear in mind, a lap ago, we were in last place. We're now in 12th. We cut to lap 5, and we're chasing Rio Haryanto in the manor. We get a great exit out of these, the fast left and right, heading towards the bottom of the circuit, and we just get a nice, easy move past the manor of Rio Haryanto, and we move up into P11. Dramas here in the opening 5 laps of this Grand Prix. We've gone from 11th to 7th to last. Now we're in 11th place. There's a yellow flag in front of us, and Max Verstappen is out of the Australian Grand Prix early here on lap 5. We come onto the pit straight, and for the first time in this career mode, we have a safety car. So a safety car has been deployed. My Delta's gone mental in the top right hand corner. There we go, goes green. Now look to your right here, you'll see Max Verstappen parked up. It's unclear whether it's a crash in these conditions or it's a mechanical failure. I would imagine a mechanical failure. And we're going to overtake the safety car as instructed. There we go, passing the safety car. And we will rejoin the train. We're behind the Force India of Sergio Perez. We cut a little bit further along now. my race engineer is right, really. It's a little bit too dry now for the full wet. He asked me, do you want to come onto the intermediates? And I agreed with him. So it's our first pit stop of this career mode. Our first pit stop. We have to hit the speed limit. We make it. Now watch what happens here. We get first service in the pits because we're ahead of our teammate Julian Palmer, but the two Force Indias have to stack. So Hulkenberg gets first service. He gets back out in front of us, but we have jumped Sergio Perez. We have gained a place in the pit stops and we're up to 9th place now. 9th place in this Grand Prix. We spent ages trying to catch the back of the train because Hulkenberg refused to go more than about 6 miles an hour for the duration of this safety car period. We catch it right at the end. Right at the end of the safety car period. We come to the back of the train here and look at how bunched up it is. So we have the Mercedes there of Lewis Hamilton leading the field with one of the Ferraris in 2nd place. And we are getting... I didn't actually mean to press box this lap, but that's obviously not. I meant to go for Shut Up Jeff. It's quite a nice little feature to do, as I've got plans in mind here. Now, it's going to go green any second, and I've got an idea here. Here goes the green flag. Now Hulkenberg, we catch him napping and we go up the inside and we're up to P8 before we've even crossed the line. We've gained a place nice and early. Hulkenberg, we really did catch him. He was asleep seemingly, as we're now up into 8th place and chasing down Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso into turn 1 and lap 10 of this Grand Prix of 29 laps. The back end is sliding everywhere, but seemingly we do have a lot more confidence in these conditions as now we cut to further into lap 10. We've got it in rich mix, I believe, as we head towards this chicane. At this part of the circuit we go purple, and now it's treacherous, but we will go around the outside of the first part and it will give us the inside line for the second part, and we are up into P7. We have passed Carlos Sainz. We are making our way through the field. We're cut to lap 11 and we are all over the back of the two Williamses. Bottas is in front. Will we have a look at the inside? Not quite. We will wait just a moment. Bottas is being held up massively by Felipe Massa. We come onto the start-finish straight for the end of the 11th lap. We're about to start the 12th lap. We are in pursuit of Bottas. Can we have a look? It's a little bit too far away, but Bottas brakes pretty early. We brake late and we make our move and we're up into P5. Can you believe the opening 11 laps of this Grand Prix? We're on lap 12 now. We've gone from 11th to 7th to last, and now we're in P5. But we are coming under pressure from Valtteri Bottas. Massive fishtail coming onto this section of the circuit. The lake is on our right hand side, as the track is seemingly a lake as well. But look at Bottas. He's going to go to the outside. We defend on the inside line. We basically park the car on the apex. We go for the second part, but Bottas is going to have a much better run heading to the bottom of the circuit here. He's going to have a look at the inside. There he goes. We will give him the space. He decides not, but then he decides to do it. I have no choice but to make the corner, but try and give him space, and it was just never going to work. Bottas had a look, decided against it, and then decided to have another go again. It was just that gap was always going to disappear. So I don't know how much blame I can take for that. We move on to lap 15. We are under massive pressure from Nico Hulkenberg here in the Force India. We just got to keep the car on the track, in control of our braking, of our apexes, and we should stay ahead. Now we move on to the end of lap 16. The track has dried substantially in the last few laps. Now my race engineer decided it was an appropriate time, 2 corners before the pit entry, to suggest a brand new strategy, so I didn't even get a chance to really see what he wanted to do. So I stayed out an extra lap and came into the pits at the end of lap 17. And I've adjusted the front wing to give me more downforce. We come into the pits. Now everybody else has jumped onto the more durable medium tyre, but I decided to do something different and go for a gamble, as I don't think our pace is going to be strong enough to catch the cars on the same tyre. We go onto the soft tyres. Now bear in mind, remember we did the tyre management test on the softs and they were pretty durable, so have we pulled off a masterstroke? The other cars go past now. We are down to 7th place, so we have dropped from 5th to 7th place. But we got much faster, fresher tyres than the car surrounding us. So we should, despite a bit of a fishtail coming out of the pits on these cold tyres. I tell Jeff to shut up as I realise this is an absolutely critical point in the race. I've been fuel saving for a massive stint of this race, which gave me over 3 laps of additional fuel to burn off here, as I am in absolute attack mode on these tyres to catch to the back of this train. Here's Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz having a massive battle here for 5th place. We want that 5th place. We close further into the lap. We go purple in the middle sector. This is lap 19. We're coming through this section here, and we get a really nice exit. We're heading down to the bottom of the circuit. Can we have a look at Nico Hülkenberg into this corner? Not quite, but look at how close we get as we come out of there. We go up the inside, and for the second time this race, we catch Nico Hülkenberg napping. We are up into P6. But now we are chasing Carlos Sainz's Toro Rosso, and for the first time in this race, we are going to get DRS. DRS activated now. We're going to tuck back into the slipstream of the Toro Rosso as we cross the line to end lap 19. Fastest lap of a 30.1. It's a hell of a lap. That would end up being the fastest lap of the race come the end of the race. A massive achievement, I have to say. DRS again as we get a fantastic toe. We go left. I can see Sainz is going to shut the door. We go to the right and we brake late, and we are unbelievably up to P5. P5 in this Grand Prix. Absolutely unbelievable performance so far, and we are in pursuit of Felipe Massa. Massa, who just drove away during the intermediate phase of this race. Now we are on the much faster tyre, and we've still got a little bit of life in them, so we can catch up to the back of the Williams without much problems really. With Rich Mix, we are now right behind the back of the Williams of Felipe Massa. Enough fuel here, we're not too worried. We just got to be nice and smooth, get a good exit, and utilise the DRS over the start-finish line. Massa is somewhat of a sitting duck here. There's the DRS now, and we're on Felipe Massa's rear wing here. We pull out, and can you believe it? We get the move done. We are up into P4. What a Grand Prix this has been so far. 11th to 7th to last, and now on lap 24, we are up into P4, and we hold on into turn 3, and we can now just drive away with the fresher tyres. But we do have one last obstacle between ourselves and the checkered flag. The tyre wear, especially on the front left and the rear left, was actually quite a bit of a headache for me. I was essentially just short shifting, avoiding curbs, trying everything just to make sure that the tyres did not degrade much more than this. Essentially, it's a huge lift in that turn 5, normally a bit of a flat out corner. But we're going to cut to the last lap of this Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has won the Australian Grand Prix, but I don't care about that. We're only a few corners away from home into this corner here. What an unbelievable drive. But we're not done yet. We've got 2 corners to go. Massa, we kept him at arm's length despite the tyre wear. We're going to come through the final corner to come home in 4th place for our first race of career mode. Can you believe it? That is an absolutely unbelievable performance. I am absolutely ecstatic. What a way to start the career mode.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
Well, there you have it. We finish an absolutely chaotic, dramatic, exciting Australian Grand Prix in 4th place, far exceeding the team's expectations of a 15th. Jolyon Palmer is nowhere. I don't even know where he finished in the end. It doesn't matter. Can you believe it? What a fantastic way to start this career mode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this first part of this career mode. Make sure you like and subscribe. Stick around for much more content. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you for part 2 in Bahrain. See you later.